Bringing alive stories of scientific collaborations between India and France, Bonjour India's exhibition Science Beyond Borders opened for the public in the national capital.
This common way of thinking, it's the reason why it works so well now when we go to modern, I would say, science and modern cooperation. So this idea was to try to explain that to the main public, that we share this love, I would say, for the science and for the higher education, and so that this is the reason why we cooperate so efficiently right now in all these fields.
The exhibition delves into the experiences, memories, testimonies of many distinguished personalities from India and France. It sheds light on lesser-known stories such as the electrification of the Indian Railways, the first Indian to take to the skies, and the Indian space program, which kicked off in the 1960s, as well as bring to the audience satellite images of Indian cities from space, help them learn about the largest herbal study project on the Indian subcontinent, and even explore the history of Jantar Mantar, commissioned by Jai Singh, which later proved handy to overseas scholars, including the French Yusuf, in studying astronomy.
We not only get to see the history of France and India, but also the ideas shared over the years between the two nations, the spirit of science which is mutual, and how they still are carrying on with the tradition, and still they have so many programs and missions in which are in process. And so yeah, it's not just the history but also the ongoing mutual respect for each other and the ongoing spirit of science that both the nations share.
The exhibition takes visitors through some rare snippets of the prized data central archives, gives peek into Airbus's geospatial digital platform, and brings to the fore some illustrious records from the Institut Français de Pondicherry, a repository of international research in cultures, environments and societies in South Asia. Science Beyond Borders allow visitors to hear stories about the interactions of the people behind such discoveries, learn the historical significance of the Indo-French partnership that dates back to the medieval history, and see how these partnerships continue shaping our world today.
Firstly, initially I thought it would be an informative exhibition as usual formats of exhibitions are, but I was really awestruck by the amount of rich knowledge, archival material this exhibition has to offer to the audience. It's like it really has expanded my horizons. I came up with what I will say, a limited frame of mind, but it really expanded my horizons.
In fact, the oldest traces of common history between France and India, and actually it's not India, it was not Republic of India at that time, it was, I would say, the Indian subcontinent. It goes back to medieval history, in particular within astronomy, within mathematics. So the idea was to show that the success that we have together now, right now, on very practical things which are indeed space, nuclear, railway, aviation, I said, and so on, mathematics, in fact, comes from the fact that since very long we share the same way of thinking. I was talking the other day that you know what we call the thought experiments, and this is something which is very, very common here, and it is the same actually in France, and not only in France but in Europe, but if I focus to France, since very long. And I think it's why since very long we have this common way of thinking. It's the reason why it works so well now when we go to modern, I would say, science and modern cooperation.
Part of the ongoing 4th edition of Bonjour India, an artistic, cultural, educational and literary initiative by the Embassy of France and its Culture Service, Institut Français India, the Alliance Française Network and the Consulates of France in India, the exhibition is open to the public till 22nd April.